Section 3.3 covers dividing polynomials. In this video, we'll cover long division and synthetic division. You need to be an expert on those two things before we cover the remainder and the factor theorem, the remainder theorem and the factor theorem. So, after this video, you need to do whatever other necessary practice you need to review and become an expert on long division and synthetic division. So, the first example is dividing by long division. Divide 6x squared minus 26x plus 12 by x minus 4. Let's name these things first. The dividend is the one, well, in division, the one that goes under, the one we're dividing into. The divisor is the one, or the divisor is the one that we're dividing, that's going into the other one. Pretty easy. This one, the big one, divided by the little one. Usually that's the way it is, but always check to make sure they're doing the right thing. Now let's first look at the leading terms. So look at the leading term in the dividend and the leading term in the divisor. We want to see how many times that one goes into the other one. And to get 6x squared from x, we would multiply by 6x. So 6x times x is 6x squared. 6x times minus 4 is minus 24x. Then just like regular division, you're going to subtract that. Subtract this whole thing, so those two terms go away. Negative 26x minus negative 24x is negative 2x, because that's like 26 plus 24, negative 26 plus 24. And then we're going to bring down the plus 12. Again, look at the leading coefficient, the leading term in your new divisor, your new dividend, and it's negative 2x. How do we make an x into negative 2x? We multiply it by negative 2. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 4 is plus 8. Subtract that from that. Those go away. 12 minus 8, 4. So when we rewrite these, we're going to rewrite the quotient plus the remainder over the divisor. So here's how our answer looks. 6x squared minus 26x plus 12 divided by x minus 4 equals 6x minus 2 plus 4 over x minus 4. That's your remainder. I hope you pause to catch up if you need to. Now you try it. Pause the video now so you can do this one on your own. Now we want to set it up exactly the same way. X plus 3 is going into 3x squared plus 5x minus 4. Look at the leading term in each one, in your dividend and in your divisor. How do we make x into 3x squared? Well, we multiply it by 3x. So we have 3x squared plus 9x. Subtract that. Bring down the negative 4. How do I make an x into a negative 4x? I multiply it by negative 4. Then I've got negative 4x minus 12. So I'm going to end up with a remainder. Negative 4 minus negative 12 is 8. So my answer is going to be 3x minus 4 plus 8 over x plus 3. 8 is your remainder. Let's try one more of these that is a little bit trickier. How about 8x to the 4th plus 6x squared minus 3x plus 1 divided by 2x squared minus x plus 2. I'm going to set this one up for you and then let you figure it out. The tricky thing here is that we are missing some terms. This has an x to the 4th term, but not an x cubed term. So we need to add in kind of a dummy term, like a 0 term. Remember that from when you've learned this in the past? So when I set this up, I'm going to say 8x to the 4th plus 0x cubed plus 6x squared minus 3x plus 1. And make sure every degree is counted for as we go all the way down. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So then this one is all okay. 2x squared minus x plus 2. Pause the video now to divide this. And here's your answer for that last example. Notice how once we got here to a negative, these terms here zeroed out, and I got to a negative 7x plus 1. Well, there's no way to multiply something by 2x squared and get negative 7x. So I'm just going to stop, and that will be my remainder. So here's your final answer. Now this is harder, I think, than synthetic division. So just as a reminder of the stuff you've already learned, let's go over synthetic division. Let's use synthetic division to divide 2x cubed minus 7x squared plus 5 by x minus 3. The first thing that you need to remember is that when you're doing synthetic division, whatever is subtracted from the x, that's actually the 0 or the root for this factor, its root is going to be 3. Basically, you're going to put into your synthetic division whatever makes this divisor equal to 0. That's a good way to think about it. And then we're going to put all the coefficients. 2x cubed, negative 7x squared, and then I see I've got a problem. I'm missing the x term. So I need to put in a 0 for the space where the x term would be, and then a 5 for the constant term. Now I'm going to draw my line. The first thing you do is bring it down. Bring down the first one. Then multiply. 2 times 3 is 6. Add these. Multiply. Add. Multiply. And add. This last term here is going to be your remainder. So synthetic division, I think, is a lot faster. And these are going to give you the coefficients of your quotient. So my final answer is going to be, you start 1 power lower, 2x squared. You see how x squared is 1 power lower than my original that I started with. So 2x squared minus 1x, or just x, minus 3 plus negative 4 over x minus 3, whatever you divided by. Now that you've seen that answer, you try. One hint, remember that when you do this synthetic division here, you need to put a negative 3 in your little outside box. Because what would make this factor here, or this divisor, 0? Negative 3 would. That's the root. you're going to put the root in the box. And here we put the 1 in the box because 1 minus 1 would be 0. I'll set this one up for you. X squared has a coefficient of 1. There's the x term, 2, x to the first, x to the 0, or the constant term, is 4. Pause now and do these on your own. Okay, you should have had these done. Let's look at what I did here. Brought down the 1 and multiplied by 1, then added these vertically, multiply on the diagonal, add vertically. Notice I got a remainder of 0. So my answer for this problem is just x, because that's to the first power. Since I started out at the second power, I want my answer to be to the first power, x. My leading term is the first power. X minus 4 is the answer. Remainder 0. Down here on the bottom, bring down the 1, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. Remainder is negative 1. So here's my final answer. Here are the homework problems you should do to practice. These are due next class.